Well, I was a bit premature there turning the camera off because I was actually 50 meters from the place I wanted to get to. Now, hopefully you can see this. This mound here is artificial. This is where the Redoubt, the small fort with 25 soldiers, and the tower was. This here, again, it's all grown over. Let's see if we can get in here. This is a trench that ran from one side to the other, and we are on the outside wall. This here, as far as I know, there's been no archaeological exploration here. No survey. Nobody seems to have even written more than 5 words about it. But it's obviously an extremely important place as far as the history of Velha goes. As you can see, now this mound of earth here, this is from 400 years ago, and I mean it was just earth, maybe a few sticks thrown in, and here we come. Now, this is the main trench. This runs from the hillside over there. There's a valley which we're going to go, which is actually where I'm heading for, where the Portuguese houses were, and it cuts across the ridge of the hill, and to the other side there. We're looking now from here. We're looking towards Igaraçu. So this is running from what would it be, from east to west, right across the ridge. So this trench, which was obviously much deeper and with much steeper walls, controlled. There may even have been a bridge here, like a drawbridge, to come across the road and get into the fort, which is this raised hill here that's behind me. Again, it's difficult to see for the vegetation, but I'll come back up here on the other side of the trench, and let's see if we can see things a bit clearer here. Nope, not really. But as you can see, this pile of this mound here is substantially higher than the rest of the structure, which was off to the left over here. So I can only imagine that this was where the tower was, because obviously that left more material to get washed down and eroded and pile up on the ground. I'm surprised it didn't fill the trench in, but according to the drawing, where I'm standing is roughly where the road came to, and the road actually passed through the little fort, so they had complete control of the road. Now, okay, so there we are now at that point. So we've come about, I don't know, I suppose it must be about 300 meters, maybe 4, up from the church by my house. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to carry on along this path, which obviously roughly is where the original road ran, because the original road ran to that little fort. And we're going to go, now I don't know if this can be seen, but where we're going is, if you can see through the trees there, where all those coconut palms are, that is where we're going. So we have to cut across now, cut across here, and get out to the road. There's a road that connects Vila Velha to the main road of the island, and we are actually 6 kilometers from there. It's a cobbled road, and I walk it with some frequency, probably a couple of times a week, to get to where I can catch a bus. There we have two. Okay, this is it. This is the road. This is the cobblestone road that runs 6 kilometers from the village down to the main road. There is a vehicle coming, so I will try and grab hold of Mucky. Come here. Come here. Come here. So, no, you leave him alone. So, you can see here, this just off to the left. See what a disgusting place this is. Look at that horrible thing. Well, that should all be built. Resorts and tower blocks there to block out that disgusting view of the sea. But this is where we're going. Now, this here is where the Portuguese houses were. Now, there's a barbed wire fence there, so we're going to walk up here. And there's a public footpath runs through here. And it's the same footpath. It's in exactly the same place as the footpath on the map from 400 years ago. Most of the roads on the island, particularly the dirt ones, the unpaved ones, which are the majority, follow exactly the roads that are indicated on Margrave's maps, on Vingbooms, on all of the cartography of the period. They're in exactly the same place. Okay, this is the area. Now, there are all sorts of bits and pieces that don't make, well, I won't say they don't make sense. They'd probably make more sense to Michael that with the archaeologist's eye. But there are raised areas which to me indicate that there was probably some kind of structure there. Don't forget, all of the houses in that period were all taipa, they were all adobe. It was only official buildings that were built in stone and brickwork. There wasn't at that point really a rich elite. There was, but they lived in adobe houses too. Okay, just this last weekend, just a few days ago, they had a marathon that came through here. It started in Vila Velha and 10 kilometers. Now, where I'm walking across now, this is what I would think. I would imagine that the gallows that managed to identify on that other map were up there on the rise. The reason being for various. I know Adam said that, oh, you wouldn't have the gallows near the houses, but the reason they would be over there is because that's downwind. The wind, as I stand and look over there, the wind is coming from the village, and it's almost constant like that all the year round. So, well, if you're going to hang up rotting bodies, that would take the whiff over that way. There is also in 1645 when the Brazilian forces attacked Vila Velha to wrest it back from the Dutch. They failed in that. They got into the square and then started drinking and whatever victorious soldiers do, and that gave the Dutch time to regroup and chuck them out. But the fighting went on from 7 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 9 hours of fighting, and on the Brazilian side there were 300 deaths. The Brazilian historians or reports put it down to about 80. The Dutch say 300, and probably a couple hundred more that the Brazilians took away with them. The Dutch also suffered heavy losses, and all these bodies, according to the Dutch reports, were buried in grandes covas, big graves. Now again, no archaeological survey. There are probably graves with 100 skeletons in them, and they would be on this side of town, downwind. In the tropical temperatures, it only takes about 2 days before dead bodies become ripe. Now, this, Michael, is what I believe where the houses were. This would correspond to sense, logic, and what's shown on the maps. As you can see, there's no logical reason for these mounds and dips and what have you in the surface. Again, this is here we have another old footpath that comes from the corner of this particular land, but it would be so easy to run a GPR over this site. That's why I mentioned it. And I do know that in Alagoas they just bought, in the university there, they just bought a new one of the really big ones with the big wheels that looks marvellous. Now again, here, this is another, the same. I think there were probably quite a few more houses here than perhaps the maps show. Now, Aaron asked about water for the mikveh, running water preferably. Well, this down here, just walking down here, you come to the well, the fonte that's shown on the map. So up on top of the hill here, nobody had access to running water, but here they were a lot closer to a spring that probably just even down in the bottom of this gully, just down there, maybe just 60 meters from here, or you could probably dig and you'd find a small spring. The whole island is like a sponge, so the question of water is taken into account too. But this is definitely the area where the gallows were, and it's also definitely the area where I know that stones were taken from here. Well, there was nothing else here that no other structure or building that would have used stones other than stones, just blocks that generally, if you look at the other buildings, they were sort of about 30 centimeters cube, that they used to set a line of foundations and then raise the adobe walls on top of that. So that, my friends, is a lightning tour of some of the salient points of the incredible and probably one of the most important historic sites in Brazil. This is probably where the first European settlement was. Here you can see a much clearer view of the gully. And wouldn't it have been nice to have a house here and have that view? So this is, look at that there, that's absolutely magnificent. And I'm certain that in historical times, most of this vegetation around here was cleared away, so they could see if they were being invaded by foreign troops. But this is the gully. This goes down to one of the sources of water. There are two springs that were used from 400 years ago, and they're still in use today. And that's where we get our water from that I have in my house. So here we are. A quick tour of Vila Velha.